Well, Sarah and Chris Hobson from Hobson and Hobson are with us.
I'll try to phrase this as well as I can. It's important to have quality legal counsel before you take steps.
Absolutely.
To go ahead and have a plan and unfold it on your terms versus maybe somebody else kind of ambushing you.
Absolutely. And if there's any indication or suspicion that money's been moved around, you can let us know and we can have our, hire a private investigator who can track it down.
When you get to things like private investigators, forensic accountants, things like that, once the court case has worked itself out and all the terms have been decided, what about recovering costs for additional attorney's fees for things like that? Because they can kind of mount during this.
They can, and when we advise a client to hire a forensic accountant or someone to try to find assets, hidden assets, we'll do it with the understanding that they're going to get a very large return on their investment. We're not going to recommend it if it's just a very small amount of money. But if it's a significant amount of money or an asset, that we're going to say, go ahead and do it. You're going to get 10 times, 100 times your money on hiring this person. But yes, you can, petition the court to have the other party to be responsible for those fees.
For regular Joe and Jane, there's still assets to hide, but not at the level where, we're talking about some of the celebrity divorces we've seen in 21.
Absolutely. And it still happens. It could be, $10,000, $5,000. People are trying to stuff money away in Bitcoin, which has been interesting. It happens, average Joes and celebrities. It happens everywhere.
Well, Chris, let me ask you, because the other part of this story is Dr. Dre was served at his grandmother's funeral, which I imagine you can be served anywhere, but there's some decency and good taste involved in some of this, isn't there?
Well, you got to have service. So I agree that there is some decency and taste, but at the end of the day, you can't have a case without service. We've had some crazy stories about serving people, but you have to initiate the case. You got to go where they want to go or where they are. And so if you know where they're at, and yes, unfortunately, it could be at a funeral, it could be somewhere else, but they can do that tastefully as well. At the end of the day, the process server is handing them a piece of paper and telling them they were served. You may not even, the funeral people, they may not even know.
Yeah. Chris Hobson, Sarah Hobson in studio with us. You can go, again, to areyoubravenough.com if you need to schedule a consultation with them. Let me ask you about something you guys have talked a lot about, and you've been listening to the spots here on the radio with the Skip the Divorce line, or Skip Divorce online. Let me say it again. SkipTheDivorceLine.com if you want to try to schedule a private arbitration instead of going through the whole divorce case. We have a celebrity instance of this now with Trace Adkins, who him and his wife are divorcing. She caught him messing around, filed irreconcilable differences, but they're going that route as well. So explain that to the guy listening, that maybe doesn't have to be as expensive or as time consuming.
Well, it's generally it's cheaper. It's going to be quicker. You're going to get a result quicker, and also you can keep it private. And all those things are very important. So when you take the alternative route, when you do arbitration, you can manage things better. You can get a quicker result, and you can get some finality for your family. And it's not so public. And then once you get the award, you can even also agree to have that sealed so that the public won't see it, so that there won't be the neighbors going online to finding out what you're doing.
Or your children.
Yeah.
Teenage kids can easily do a search and access everything that's been filed in the divorce.
Explain the arbitration process, though. Is it as simple as, we joke about what happens in baseball with arbitration? We're going to make, this number available. You're going to have this number, this asset. How much back and forth goes on with it?
It can be customized to what the parties want. So it's such an easy process. You can go onto our website and state that you guys want to do arbitration, and you do an online form. It goes to the other side. And then there'll be a brief conference call between the arbitrator and the parties to decide what are the issues. And they decide the scope. They say, okay, we want to do full-on discovery, or no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to waste the money. I know what's already involved in this. And it's really, however you want to do it, you can customize it and make it as big of a process or as quick and efficient of a process as you'd like. And
I'd like to add, too, it doesn't have to be a huge, big celebrity divorce to need an arbitration services. There's a lot of times when parents can't make a decision. One parent wants private school, the other parent doesn't, right? And so there's one person that has final say on that decision. But the parents can also agree to arbitrate the issue and not make it into a much bigger case and say, okay, there's one key issue that's very important to both of us. Let's have an arbitrator hear the evidence. You can have attorneys represent you, and it can be quick, it can be final, and you can move on with your life. And I see so many people, they bring the one issue for a case that they want, and then they throw in the 10 other issues that are almost like side issues, but then it becomes such a mess. And if you just streamline it with arbitration, it can be so much better for your family. And that's really what it boils down to, is getting finality for your family, for your kids, and for your future.
Let me get the skipthedivorceline.com. Let me sure everybody has that. Skipthedivorceline.com if people need it.
If it is, again, just regular Joe and Jane, and there is a reason, real or imagined, that you want your file sealed. I don't want people to see our personal business. How much of a process? I mean, you don't always get the answer you want from a judge. How much of a process if you just, for whatever reason, want your personal divorce details sealed?
So you can just file a motion, and if the other party agrees, the judge, it's a pretty quick process where the judge would grant it. And then there is a little bit of a hairy process on how we actually get it sealed, just as far as the timing of the paperwork that's filed actually going to the court and making sure it actually goes into an envelope and is physically sealed.
Sounds like another reason to hire an attorney.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So happens you might know a couple. Sarah and Chris Hobson from Hobson & Hobson are with us. Let me ask you about something I saw the other day on social media, which I know is a no-no when anybody's going through any of this stuff. Stay off social media. So I saw a friend of ours who posted congratulations to her husband on his engagement. They've been split up for 4 years. He gets engaged. She's like, now maybe he'll sign the divorce papers. So here's my question on that. If somebody's not willing to sign, what happens at that point? It's been 4 years. How do I, quote, make you sign? How much do you hear about stuff like that?
Well, at the end of the day, there's two choices. You can either reach an agreement and have both parties sign, or you take them to court and have the judge make an order. So it's unfortunate that there are circumstances where people just won't sign just to make it difficult. But you can skip that. You can file your action, get in front of a judge, and then force them to do that. And it's unfortunate that that happens, but that's what the legal process is there for. So if they're going to sit there and play games about not signing the paperwork, let's just say that it's not likely going to be a very favorable outcome for them when you do get in front of the judge, because the judge sees that, and it's ridiculous.
And again, 4 years. I mean, you're talking about something like, now is that something, again, that can be expedited if you don't want to do the court costs, you don't want to do those things? I mean, if you're not willing to sign the papers, arbitration doesn't sound like something both parties are open to.
Well, yeah, certainly if he's not willing to sign the papers, he's not likely going to agree to go to arbitration. If that's the case and someone is just stonewalling you, you have to rip the Band-Aid off. I know that's so hard for so many people. It's like they're admitting defeat, but it's not. What you're doing is starting new. Right, you're starting over, and you're saying enough is enough, and so you got to move forward. You have to own it, and you have to be proud of it, and you can move forward and be a better person because of it. And there's not this stigma around you that you went through a divorce. Well, 50% of America has. So like, we're living in a society where co-parenting should be the norm. Working together after a divorce should be the norm. Half of America is forced to do it. So if they're giving you these problems, you just got to rip the Band-Aid off, go do it, make a decision, and move forward and be proud of yourself.
Again, easy to get in touch with Chris and Sarah. Visit areyoubravenough.com. You can schedule a consultation, and they'll give you all the answers you need, which is always a big help.
Yes.
Did you guys get swept up in Braves madness last week?
Well, I feel like I'm finally out of my sleep-deprived coma.
Sunday morning was key, wasn't it?
Yes.
That extra hour. It was
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it felt good to get a little extra sleep. So, yeah, we're excited for the Braves. We're happy. Our family was really happy, and it's just fun that our kids get to experience it too. Because 1995 was the last time. I mean, I barely remember it. So it's great to see my kids enjoy it and get their shirts and everything.
It's been a lot of fun.
Speaking of the Braves, we are offering a promo. If they call in with the promo of Champions 2021, we're offering $100 off of a consultation, just in honor and celebration of the Braves, and also to really help people, around the holidays.
I love that. Champions 2021. Again, that's the promo code there. Areyoubravenough.com is where you want to schedule a consultation. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Good to
Chris
see
and
you guys
Sarah
too.
Hobson, thank you very much.